Yes, recording.
Hello, my name is Constantine Jean-Pierre. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I will be your teacher for today. My background is in education. I taught for 17 years in the New York City Board of Education. Um, right now, I'm teaching an after-school program to children 9 and 10 years old, basketball. Um, Today, I'm going to be reading Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2 by Walt Disney. Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. One morning, Winnie the Pooh was on his way to visit his friend Piglet. Although Pooh's head was stuffed with fluff, he was cheerful. As he walked along through the woods, he was humming a song to himself. Pooh did not look where he was going. All of a sudden, someone bounced into him. Pooh found himself flat on the ground. Tigger was sitting on his tummy. "Hello, Pooh," said Tigger. "It's a fine day for bouncing." He likes to bounce. Tigger helped Pooh get up. "Thank you, Tigger," said Pooh. "I was just thinking it's a fine day for going to visit Piglet." "I was on my way to see Rabbit," said Tigger, "but I will come along with you." And Tigger bounced away. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Tigger bounced on ahead of Pooh. He bounced so fast and he bounced so far that he bounced right into Piglet. Tigger cried, "Piglet, you scared me." "I'm sorry," said Tigger. He helped Piglet get up. See, fell down, now he's getting him up. "Now I'm off to see Rabbit," said Tigger. "Why don't you and Pooh come with me?" Away he bounced again. Tigger bounced into Rabbit's garden. Rabbit was busy counting his carrots. Suddenly, Tigger bounced on top of him. "Hello there, Rabbit," said Tigger. "Tigger, you're a pest," cried Rabbit. When Pooh and Piglet reached the garden, they helped Rabbit to his feet. Rabbit was very angry at Tigger. "Why are you always bouncing?" he cried. "'Cause bouncing is what Tigger do best," said Tigger proudly. Rabbit looked around him. All his plants were bent or broken. His tools were scattered about, and his wheelbarrow was turned upside down. "Just look at my garden." Tigger kicked aside a broken pumpkin. "Yuck! Messy, isn't it?" "Messy? It's ruined, Tigger. Ruined!" "Well, I better be bouncing along tick-tock, tick for now." And Tigger bounced happily out of the garden. Later that day, Rabbit came up with a splendid idea for unbouncing Tigger. He told Pooh and Piglet about it. "We will take him on a long explore and leave him in the woods," said Rabbit. "When we go back to get him next morning, Tigger will not be so bouncy." "That was a splendid idea," said Piglet. "What do you think, Pooh?" But Pooh was sitting in a cozy chair, and he had fallen fast asleep. Sleeping. Piglet poked him. "I think it's a splendid idea," said Pooh after Piglet told him all about it. The very next day, Rabbit, Pooh, and Piglet took Tigger into the woods. "When we come back to get Tigger tomorrow," said Rabbit, "the bounce will be all gone." He'll be a sad Tigger. I'm sorry, Tigger. A rabbit, I'm so glad to see you, Tigger. Tigger bounced further and further away. He did not know about Rabbit's idea to leave him in the woods. The three friends found a hollow log. Quick, said Rabbit, hide inside. They climbed into the log. Tigger soon came back to look for them. Hello, he called. No one answered. Tigger stood on top of the log. He called his friend again. They still did not answer. Hello, hello. No answer. They must be lost, thought Tigger, and he bounced away to find them. As soon as Tigger was out of sight, Rabbit, Pooh, and Piglet started home. After a while, they came to a sand pit. Something is wrong, said Piglet. I'm not sure we passed by here before. Nonsense, said Rabbit. Keep walking. Soon they came to the sand pit again. I believe we're lost, said Pooh. We have been looking for home, but we keep finding this sand pit. Maybe if we start looking for this sand pit, we will find our way home. I'm sure I know the way, said Rabbit. You two wait here and I'll find it. Pooh and Piglet waited for Rabbit. They waited and waited and waited. But Rabbit did not come back. At last, Pooh took Piglet's hand. Let's follow my tummy, said Pooh. Whenever I get hungry for honey, my tummy lead me home. Sure enough, Pooh's tummy found a way just as they came out of the woods. Tigger bounced into them. Oh, Tigger, said Pooh, Rabbit is lost in the woods. Tigger never get lost, said Tigger. I'll go back and find him. He bounced away. Meanwhile, Rabbit was all alone in the darkest part of the woods. He was very, very, very lost. Every time he looked around, he thought he saw someone watching him. He heard all sorts of scary sounds. Pit, peck, croak, sss, chomp, chomp, hoot, hoot. Then Rabbit heard someone creeping in the bushes. Help, Pooh, help, Piglet, he shouted. Suddenly, he bounced to the ground. Tigger, Rabbit cried, I'm so glad to see you. Tigger led Rabbit out of the woods. Poor Rabbit, his splendid idea for unbouncing Tigger had not worked out very well. Bright and early the very next morning, Tigger went to Kanga's house. Kanga was busily sweeping the yard. May I take Roo for a walk with me? Asked Tigger. Of course, dear, said Kanga. As Tigger bounced along, Roo rolled on his back. Can Tigger climb trees? Asked Roo. That's what Tigger do best, said Tigger. I will show you. Tigger found a tall tree and he bounced from branch to branch. He bounced up. Ooh, Tigger, squealed Roo. He bounced higher. Ooh, Tigger, Roo squealed again. He kept bouncing higher and higher. Soon they were near the top of the tree. When Tigger looked down, he was very scared. How did the tree get so high? He cried. Isn't it fun? Said Roo. No, answered Tigger. I forgot to tell you. Tigger can't climb down. Hooray, squealed Roo. We'll stay here forever. Just at that moment, Pooh and Piglet came by. They happened to look up in the tree. They're looking up in the tree. Piglet whispered, Pooh, there is a jaguar and jaguar fierce animals. Oh, Pooh, let's walk a bit closer to see. When Pooh and Piglet reached the tree, they saw Tigger and Roo near the top. Hello, called Roo. Tigger is stuck. Don't worry, Tigger, called Pooh. We will get Christopher Robins. He'll think of a way to rescue you. Before long, Christopher Robins appeared. He ran to the tree. Rabbit and Kanga, I do hope Tigger has learned his lesson, said Rabbit. Maybe he'll stop bouncing now. Christopher Robins took off his coat. He told everyone to hold a corner so Roo could jump into it. After Roo came tumbling down, Christopher Robins called up to Tigger. Now it's your turn to jump, he said. Tigger don't jump, they bounce, said Tigger. But if I ever get down from here, I promise never to bounce again. Did you all hear that? Cried Rabbit. He promised to stop bouncing. Tigger closed his eyes and let go of the tree. Down, down, down he fell. He landed on the coat with such a thump that everyone fell backwards. Tigger was happy to be down. He started to bounce. Uh-oh, he's bouncing. But Rabbit held up his hand. No bouncing, Tigger, he said. You promise never to bounce again. That's right, said Tigger. I did. Tigger began to walk away. Without his bounce, he was a very sad Tigger indeed. Roo watched his unhappy friend. I think the old bouncing Tigger better. I like the old bouncing Tigger better, he said. So, do I dare, said Kanga. So do I, said Pooh and Piglet. Everyone looked at Rabbit. Well said, Rabbit, so do I guess. All of a sudden, Tigger came bouncing back. Do you really mean it, Rabbit? He cried. May I have my bounce back? Yes, said Rabbit. I really mean it. Hooray, said Tigger, and off he bounced, happy to be bouncy old self again. The end. Thanks for having me part of your evening. Goodbye.
I'll press the red button again.